We are operating on a frequency of 52 megacycles by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. A test program follows. To you who have been trained technically, I need hardly say that there's still a number of problems to solve. I guess you know them as well as anybody knows them. But I think we've proceeded far enough to justify the statement, at least, that these technical problems are not insurmountable.
Right, so that's us back in. So that's the feature game for this week. No conference.
I had this video triple checked by people and nobody pointed out that spelling mistake. That makes me angry.
I can't spell. As you would know by the number of times I've had to fix spelling mistakes on the site.
Yeah, JB, that's absolutely fine. We'll go through it again while Chris set the code. So, you'll have your 5 decks and your 5 SAS caps. Each of the 5 sets must fit one of the SAS caps. So, if you've got DT in 65, you'll then have Mass Mutation in, say, 75, World's Collide in 60, Mass Mutation in 80, and then KOTE in 70. So you'll have 5 sets and 5 SAS caps. Then each week we will spin the roulette wheel and the captain will be given one of the SAS caps and he'll play that deck. And then the blue player will be given one of the SAS caps and they'll play that deck. And the red player will be given one of the SAS caps. So no, you can't have 2 at 80. It's one set for one SAS cap. This is designed to have a baseline power level for the decks. No, so what we didn't want to happen was, say, somebody bring an 80 SAS KOTE deck playing against a 60 SAS KOTE deck.
Sorry, my daughter's hiding behind me.
Putting the roulette restriction on the SAS makes it a bit fairer than on the sets.
I can hear you too. No, I'll take you in a bit.
Yeah, so you'll be playing different sets, you won't be playing different SAS caps. That's the exact point. So it's a case of we spin and say you're the captain of Kip. Yeah, we go, okay, captains will all be playing 80. So everybody will be playing the deck that's in their 80 cap. Each seat will get a different SAS cap. So every week we'll keep spinning the wheel and you'll be playing a different SAS cap than you played the week before.
Potentially.
So
you could potentially play the same one.
Hopefully. That is how it works. RNG is a cruel mistress. 80, 75, 70, 65, and 60. Trying to cover the broad average. So yeah, so it'll be captain versus captain, blue versus blue, red versus red. So you'll all be playing
for the same pool of 5.
You'll all be playing against the same SAS, but you'll be playing different sets.
Yes, but each one must be from a different set.
Yeah, so you can't repeat the sets. If your 80 SAS is a Dark Tidings, you then want to have a Dark Tidings down in 60. You'll have all 5 sets represented among the 5 SAS caps. And the decks you play will change each week.
Exactly.
It's essentially, like I said in the video, it's the accumulation of the past 9 sets, the past 9 codes put into this last final code. This is the last event, and as Chris is shaking his head, we do not ban cards unless FFG somehow before this event starts go, we are permanently banning a card. We will not ban a card either.
I think if they did after we started, we'd have to sit here and have a moan about how the hell we're going to handle it. But yeah, we do not ban cards on the whole. Yeah. Well, we do not ban cards, full stop, unless FFG otherwise. If you want to play
Jenka, if you want to play Heart of the Forest, if you want to play Dav, you're going to have some issues with the other players, but you're not going to have any issues with me.
Yep, this is the last KOTE, not tonight. We've decided to have KOTE 10 to be the last event.
It's many, many months away before we wrap it up, but as we said at the beginning, Chris felt like this was a natural stopping point, and we all agreed with him, essentially. We want to end it on a high. We want to end it on our own terms, and we do not expect team-based Keyforge to just disappear with us. We
I
do
hope it
expect
doesn't.
we expect it to come back in its own form, and we might see you there. But we just respectfully ask anyone who does do it not to use the name KOTE. We want that to be our legacy.
Yeah, 2 years this will be running by the time we finish. It is time. Life commitments have changed. Inspiration for the game has changed, and it needs more time than Brett and I could put in. And we'd rather end this now rather than fail for the future.
Exactly. We'd rather end it on a high for both the players and the people running it than have it become something that we resent.
Correct?
Yes, Mr. Kong, if you have a 72 SAS, that will come under the 75 slot because it's above 70 and below 75.
So you're saying a SAS 72 couldn't count as in the 80 slot?
It could count in the 80 slot as well. This is very true.
So a SAS 72 could be either in the 75 or the 80 slot.
Yeah, you could put. You could put a. Technically, you could run 75 or under. Yes.
So you could run 5 decks at SAS 59.
You could. Yeah, you could run 5 decks at SAS 50, and if you did, you'd be awarded style points. But style points do not mean as much here as they do in Space Jam New Legacy.
My daughter's going to see that on Thursday without me. First time to the cinema alone.
I would love to see 5 decks submitted at 60 SAS or below.
I know what
That'd be absolutely amazing.
So Brett, the important question that we haven't answered yet is: are we going to play? Are we going to get you, me, and another admin to play?
I don't see why not. It depends on if we could get other people to play. It depends on time commitments as well.
Yeah.
Because at that moment in time, I'm gonna be doing my full-time daddy duty as well as Flynn's got his first year of school. But given as JB and Ultima point out, it's the final event. I think we should at least give it a try. And seeing as how there's prizes for all 3 cuts,
Well,
I think it's going to be the most.
hang on. There's prizes for the top 3 cuts. There may be more than 3 cuts depending on how many people
This
play.
is true. But yes, so for those of you who missed it over the last couple of weeks, we're going to have the usual playmats for the winners. Chris is going to kindly donate some decks to the winners of Cut 1 and Cut 3.
So that's going to be 9 AOA decks to the winner of Cut 1, 6 AOA decks to second place of Cut 1, and 3 AOA decks to third and fourth of Cut 1, if my maths is correct. Then you have for the top cut, the Sloppy Lab Work cut, which is Cut 2, will get 9 decks for the winner, 3 for second place, as donated by Sloppy Lab Work. And then we will have. Go ahead.
So cut two next time will be called the Sloppy Lab Work cut.
And then for Cut 3 winners, we will have 3 AOA decks. You may question why we have AOA. The answer is I have 2 unopened boxes of AOA on my shelf.
Are those the ones that you got from Poland?
One maybe. The other one wasn't. One is, one isn't.
The prize is this time, Mr. Kong. I've got one. That's part of the giveaway. Were the KOTE 9 playmats, 70 by 40 centimeters. The 3 winners of the Cut 1 this time will get one of these each, as well as 36 KOTE 9 sleeves with the same art on them. Next season, we've got the KOTE 10 playmats, which I've just put the order in. This playmat woman must absolutely love me, because I've been ordering so much from her recently. As well as the decks provided.
Great question from Ultima here is, yes, you're currently playing your top 16 game this week. Yes. You need to get in by Tuesday lunchtime the match selects for the week after. So that could be you submit both of them, or you wait to see what the outcome of the other match is and then submit them. It's the
same as what happened this week for the teams. Yeah, there is 2 potential teams that will be moving forward. You can wait to see. You can wait for Monday. You can wait for next Tuesday and submit based on who you're definitely going to be going up against, or you could submit both of them in advance and for either team that's going to be moving forward. But there'll be no more breaks. The break was mainly because we couldn't reveal the playoff results early.
JB, the system will crash, but not in a way that anyone will see.
the system will generally just shout at us for a few days on Discord,
Until
and all we do is mute the channel for a few hours, and it's fine.
yeah, this says there's 700 current warning messages we got to deal with, but that's another problem. But no, the system will handle it. It's built with a fair amount of resilience, and the main issue we can't handle is when you put the wrong spelling of a team name in. But I think I've got that fixed now.
Yeah, it didn't have that much of an issue this week when people were submitting for 2 teams.
I've just
Huge thanks to all the teams that got their stuff in on time, and a huge shout out to both the Midwest Martians and the Key Frogs who pushed their game, who had to quickly get their final game in at about an hour to 11 p.m. last night British time, just to make sure all the games were played for Tuesday.
And ultimately, don't worry about it. We extend it to 10 p.m. tonight just because I hadn't yesterday put up the details for Cut 2, and
yeah,
so you got till 10 p.m. tonight. Normally it'll be midday next Tuesday going forward. That's purely on me.
So you've literally still got like 50 minutes to get your formats in, and then the formats will be revealed shortly after.
Cool. So let's show the.
And the same applies to next week. You'll have until 10 p.m. next week to get the top 8 ones in. I know I've said this twice in the past and it's fallen through, but Chris will be on his own next week, barring any more COVID scares. My car is fixed. My kid is not in nursery, so can't get COVID scares. I should be going to see my in-laws next week.
So it would just be me, and unless anyone else wants to join us. Jupiter, do you want to come on the stream next week? Or any other volunteers? We will see what we've got.
So Code 10 submissions will open as soon as Chris does the form, so probably within the next week. And once your decks are in, they're locked, same as any other SAS Cap event we've done.
So if SAS changes like it does to us every month, you don't have to handle the change.
The SAS changes come in, so basically it's a case of once you've submitted your Code 10 deck list, you can change the decks in them, but you will not be penalised if the SAS goes up above the cap. So if you've got a deck that's 81 and it drops to 80, you can be like, okay, I'm going to submit a new form with this deck that's dropped. It will not affect the decks that you've already locked.
And Raikkonen, you don't need to miss us yet. You've got us at least probably for another 3 or 4 months, maybe longer.
Yeah, so, you've got us until you've pretty much got us to the new year, because round robin takes at least 2 months for us to do, and then top cut takes at least another month and a half.
And we're having a couple of week break between 9 and 10.
And a couple of week break between week 9 and 10. So early to mid January will probably be the end here, which is
unless no one signs up for Code 10.
Yeah, unless nobody signs up for Code 10, which would be really weird.
Will I receive an in real life trophy for my quiz tourney? Why not? If you win the next one, we will.
I think what I'm going to do throughout Code 10, the Code 9 quiz will probably be quite light, and I'm going to focus on a huge and in-depth Code 10 quiz that goes back pretty much over everything. And I'm not even going to make it. I know I'm limited to 50 questions. I'm going to fuck it. I'm just going to take down people's scores from the first one. I'm going to make it like 300 questions. I'm going to go balls deep on this quiz.
Can I just for the first time in my time running Coat, implement the veto? I've never had to do it before, and this is not staged.
How about this? How about you don't have to be part of the stream, but take part in the quiz?
I've got more better things to do with 5 hours of my life.
It'll be 5 hours. It's 20 seconds a question over 50 questions.
We will see, man. But as we are coming close to the end of the show, let's go through the current playoff results for this week. So this is...
If you want to do an endurance one, not tonight, there is a knockout version of the quiz. There is a knockout version of the quiz where I can put people into groups for the quiz and ask different questions and then move people forward based on like a group-based system. I don't know. That'll be something for that'll be something I can come up with for Code 10, but I feel like that would be the perfect wrap-up. Would be the Code 10 quiz being the final thing we do, and having it be just as crazy as KOTE 10 is going to be.
But yeah, so look at the results here, though, man. This is an interesting set. So we have both the Untamed teams knocked into the second cut. We have both the Sanctum teams knocked to the second cut. I haven't quite, and I think everything else it seems to be.
Ooh, hold on.
Both disc teams made it through. Is that correct?
Uh,
No, sorry, only one disc team made it through. What's the one that made both discs? You have
Mars got knocked out. Untamed got knocked down. Untamed got knocked down. Unfathomable got knocked down. Disc got knocked down.
Well, yeah, it
one disc
went
made
both
it
ways.
up, yeah.
But I mean, Hamburg HA2 beating Rocket Boots is one thing. That's one thing to point out here. Both two of the great teams that we have in,
Rocket Boots have been denied their revenge match against Kip.
which is a shame. But HA2 means all three of the Hamburg Lanterns teams are in the top 16.
Yes, this is true.
And unfortunately, if they might reach the top 8. But
Mr. Russell, I believe that making branded jackets for KOTE for the final event would be a very bad investment if we don't sell them all.
how about this, Mr. Russell? If you give us a set of money, we will license the art to you. I think that's all we're going to say.
I mean, I can get it done. I can ask my wife's merch guys how much it'd be to do jackets because they've just done some hoodies for their stuff.
Let's ask the question, and it may be £1,000, which if you want to buy, I'll run off the money.
Then you got shipping on top.
And then you got the Brexit taxes, yeah. Zion's Crew beating ABR Youngest Bears, another call out here. Zion's Crew, they're an Italian team. I think this is their first event.
I do believe it's their first event.
Sad to see Klutchki doing so well and then knocked out by New York City. Sad to see D20 Merc knocked down.
Yeah, but I was going to say, the D20 Mercs being knocked out by ABR stops both D20 teams being in the top cut.
Yep, but only one of the ABR teams made it through. So, I mean, it's definitely interesting. So the other playoff team wasn't quite so successful in terms of results, but then we only had
a lot of people drop.
Well, so
and it looks like some games that weren't even played.
So I didn't chase these up. So we are assuming Baywitch and Keyforge Fridays dropped, I think, he says. If not, I will fix that in a minute. But we have Strange Gizmos, I gave the win, because they're 1-0 against Crazy Kin Aubergine. And Final Swindle Alpha are in there. So let's just see what day second cut looks like. Do I have Baywitch and Keyforge Fridays in here? I hope not. Oh, I have got Baywitch and Keyforge Fridays in here. Baywitch in here. So Baywitch should not be here, because they should be, that should be a bye. So D20 Merc will have a bye this week. I will fix that in a second.
Oh, awesome. But I'm just looking at the top cut.
Yeah, that's a good.
And this is a hell of a top cut.
So please ignore the dates at the top because I will fix them before we finish. It's just, and as much JB you said Rocket Beach didn't have a nice draw beforehand. Who on this list would be considered a nice draw at this point?
So. Who knocked out Rocket Boots again? My brain's...
Hamburg Lanterns 2, who are played in D20 Primus.
So they played D20 Primus, which means they wouldn't have seen Kip until the finals, which would have been a hell of a revenge match.
That wasn't deliberate, just to be clear.
No. I'm just looking at No Kang Fans in Austria, who just had to play the Madrid Archons, and then a smack bang with a sloppy lab work there.
Yeah, but in the nicest way, which other team here is not in a similar threat?
Oh, that's what I was looking at. Because, well, who would I put them up against then? It's like, oh, yeah, no, yes. We couldn't avoid having Hamburg Lanterns in the same group. There's so many German teams that have made it forward here.
Especially when one's Austrian, which makes it slightly more embarrassing. But that's another story.
I'm going to avoid recording any of the Hamburg Lanterns games up here. Because if it goes to the top 8 and Hamburg Lanterns 2 are taking on Hamburg Lanterns 3... I always have to record the Civil War.
I think that, and they can't complain that their team lost when you record them. But you've got Sloppy Webber. I mean, this week I would say the Fellowship of Archons versus New York City personally, because I like both teams, but the logistics is going to be the challenge.
What I'm looking at is, I don't think we've recorded So Salty before.
Have we not? Oh, that's another great one to do. Let's do that then.
Yeah, so Salty against Pimpaka Beecher is going to be a hell of a game. and that's not just and that is not just because you've recorded us 1 week, but I haven't recorded with Prakovic.
Yeah, Miss Pete. They
Yeah,
moved from Austria to Germany.
they're a bit all over the place, but Prakovic versus KOTE is definitely going to be, and that's not just because Mr. Russell slipped me some money for him to scout out who will be playing after he knocks down Christoph after scouting them this week.
Ah, so that's where those headphones came from. But I mean, this is all. I mean, I don't envy any single pairing here.
Bit of inside information here that I did get from Christoph is he let Bandit go to his opponent, but under the limit of his deck. So basically, Christoph kind of threw his game a little bit, giving his opponent Bandit because he didn't want Sloppy Level to see Bandit at full power. Christoph has got hundreds of hours of playing Bandit in here, and he didn't want Sloppy Level to see the tricks on the stream, so he purposely let his opponent get it at a discount, knowing it might cost them the game, but adamant that he knew his opponent, that not to give away the information to his opponent. That is some meta level play here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say.
Has the giveaway been mentioned yet? So, Mr. Capon, the giveaway is for the playmat as there and a set of sleeves. You fill out the form on there. Patreons get entries equal to their amount, which I need to phone Patreon because my phone number changed, so I'm having trouble getting into it. Twitch followers get 1 entry, Twitch subscribers get 5 entries, and YouTube subscribers get 2 entries. So it's a little bit pay to win, but at the same time you can get a decent amount, or you can still get 3 entries just by being just by following us on Twitch and YouTube.
And going back to JB's previous comment saying his half of the bracket is bonkers, man, I would actually go as far as saying the entire bracket is bonkers. Yours is just more American, which is purely by chance.
Still quite decent AP. I would probably say that the top half of the bracket though has a few more of the first time teams.
Zion's crew and Pachabicha come off as a duo as a first time team from the bottom half.
Oh no, they've got. I think
as is the Fellowship of Archons. So there's two.
Fellowship of the Archons comes off as a duo. Yes, so it's pretty much evened out. Yeah. No, this is.
Yeah, they're also bonkers. JB.
Oh, I mean that kind of makes sense though, JB. I mean probably the most. Yeah, the European team that most people are going to be familiar with is Hamburg Lancians and Can't Touch This, but Fellowship of the Archons are made up of some of the strongest
unknown
Scandinavian
people.
Players out there.
Yeah, definitely. Great team.
You usually find some of the Scandinavian players within Final Swindle. They've got their own team coming this time. I'm really glad to see these guys here. Zion's crew, although being a new team, very powerful Italian team. No Kangafans in Austria. I've always been a bit of a bridesmaid. They've always made it quite good in their groups. But they always seem to fail to push past this bit. It'll be quite interesting to see if they can go a bit further here. But they've not, with the 2 Hamburg Atlanteans teams as well as D20 Primus, it's not going to be an easy ride.
Who wants easy? So, who are we recording?
I've said this since the beginning. This coat is smaller, but it is just more concentrated skill.
Yeah. So let's look at the second cut quickly. So bearing in mind, Baywitch will not be here shortly. There will be a bye, and which I apologise for screwing that one up. But hey, we're going to screw up this week's allowed.
ABR versus the Wolfpack. That's good. That's a top tier matchup if I've ever seen one.
But also, Clutch G versus Keyforce Granada, and Rocket Roots versus Sentineless. I mean,
Rocket Roots versus Sentineless.
Well, that's
Static Looters in Final Swindle Alpha. Key Frogs want to drop, so they put it in the drop channel.
Ah, cool. Missed that. But I mean, that's a shame to see them go. But yeah, I mean, this is also looking pretty awesome.
Yeah, it definitely is.
A quick look at day 3, and then I will...
God knows what's happening here. You've got Manchester Mavericks in 2 places.
Where? Oh wow! One will be one will be Baywitch shortly. One will be Baywitch very shortly, which I appreciate. They can just get their decks in, because the French Imps and Baywitch will get their decks in shortly. Apologies for that.
I believe in you, Mr. Kong. You can. I mean, look at it this way, Mr. Kong. If you win against Charada and you win against the French Imps, you can face yourself in the finals. I don't think we've ever had a team taking themselves on in the finals.
Let's let me quickly finish that one up now. Just again showing the magic behind the scene.
It's a lot of extra work, but if you can pull it off here, Mr. Kong, you can guarantee the win in Cup 3.
You're playing the French Imps. I have no idea how this is going to handle it. So in about 9 minutes or 19 minutes, I forget which.
I need to get the list in now before Dexter Keyboard strengthens his Kong Resurgence deck above 65. So what you need to do then, Pete, is you need to be bugging Chris every hour on the hour to get the farm submission done.
Yeah, you can bug me if you like. You're more likely to get banned from the next event. But yeah, but we'll see where we go. So yeah,
it might be a feat, Mr. Kong, but I believe in you.
I'm just trying to work out why there's no buy appearing in top 4 here, really. But so just to be clear, the top 4 here is the final.
Yeah, I kind of go with that.
I'm just curious why the top 4 buys aren't moving on. That's a separate conversation for now. Yeah. All right, well, guys, that's all we've got for this week. So we've given you the top 10, sorry, the KOTE 10 format. We've given you the sad news that KOTE 10 will be the last event. We don't have the dates yet for KOTE 10. We will work on that this week, and we'll release it probably. I'll release it Tuesday next week without Brett. Hopefully, we'll have JB or someone online with us.
We'll work out some maths, and we'll find out when the actual end of KOTE 9 is going to be, and then we can work out the start of KOTE 10.
Yeah, we'll go from there. So thanks, guys, everyone, for watching. That's been on my channel 7 times with a 5-2 record. Is it listed for decks? Yeah, you do.
I expect to see a lot of underrated SAS decks, the same as KOTE 8. I expect to see a lot of decks that are much better than the SAS rating taking each other on. I don't expect, just because you're playing a low SAS deck, for these games to be easy. The reason we put the SAS caps in there is because the patrons felt that just going 5 sets will rotate the sets for each player, one would lead to boring games of DT versus DT, mass mutation versus mass mutation, multiplied versus multiplied, of top tier decks. They didn't want to just keep bringing their best decks. They want to go for their collection. They want to look for these hidden gem decks, and this does it in a 3-dimensional way. Not only now are you looking for your best deck in a set, you're looking for your 5. You're now going to have, say, 5 decks that you think are the best for 65, and trying to figure out between the 3 of you which decks should go where. 5 decks. It's 5 communal decks.
So, thanks everyone. Oh yes, I completely forgot about Ultimo.
Yes.
Top team for each group. Who I can't. It was top team for each group. I thought it was.
No. So it was the top. The top scoring American team was getting decks from Jupiter.
Yeah.
The top scoring AP team was getting decks from Twin Spades.
Yep.
Top scoring EU team was getting decks from you.
Yep.
And it's just been pushed through. The top scoring team that didn't make it in on the Sanctum group, which I believe would be ABR Youngest Bears, will be getting decks from Jason, the captain. Kurt.
Yeah. So that was the only one, was the top one that didn't make it through.
Yeah, because Sanctum was a mixed group rather than individual nations, that one got its own sort of separate prize pool.
Yeah, so the D20 Primus will be getting the decks from the other guys, from Twin Spade, and I'll try and work out who were the American and UK winners, or sorry, American and European winners.
I'm sure that's something we can work out.
Yeah, it's just takes effort. So just give me like 20 minutes and some time, and I'll work that out this week and announce it next week or confirm it next week. So yeah, that was it. Completely right, Ultimo. So guys, thanks so much for watching. This is it for this week. Enjoy your week off next week, Brett, and we'll see you see everyone else next week. Thank you.
Any questions about KOTE 10, please drop them in the Discord. I'll try and answer them as quickly as I can. It's been brilliant working with you guys, and I hope the next few months are just as enjoyable for you guys as they are going to be for us.
Thank you very much. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Bye.